The country needs to hear this. The Iraqi solution. We must be as careful leaving Iraq as we were as careless going into Iraq. My name is Peter. I'm running for Congress in the 2nd Congressional District of Minnesota. Today, I would like to speak with you about a bold new initiative to deal with the crisis in Iraq. It was John F. Kennedy, the 35th U.S. President, that said, and I quote, "With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessings and his help. But knowing that here on earth God's work must truly be our own," unquote. The way forward in Iraq is to convince Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki to hold a referendum, indeed a plebiscite, or what one would call a ballot initiative, with one key important question for the Iraqi people to vote on. The question is, should the American troops stationed in Iraq to establish peace and bring about reconciliation among the warring factions stay or leave? This will be a yes or no question in which the Iraqi people will be able to express their will on the future direction of their country through the ballot box. It allows democracy rather than pressure from terrorists such as Al-Qaeda, Shiite militant cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, foreign insurgents, or elements that cross the border from Iran and Syria to decide the fate of whether our brave men and women in uniform, the finest military in the world, should stay or go. I believe that this will be a powerful blow against terrorism, as they will be shut out in deciding the future destiny for the people of Iraq. Secondly, it takes the decision on whether we should stay in Iraq or go from further dividing the United States and sending mixed messages to our friends and adversaries. We are not just a nation of diverse cultures and races, but a nation of different opinions. E pluribus unum, out of many, one nation. Words like surrender or be there for 100 years, as spoken by some national leaders and presidential candidates, will become obsolete and irrelevant to the new equation. All Americans can unite behind the strategy that allows for a realistic resolution on how to resolve the Iraqi problem. In addition, the United Nations can actually help the Iraqi government to prepare for this important referendum. With a few exceptions, they have done a pretty good job at supervising elections around the world. Equally important, by holding a ballot initiative on whether we should stay or leave, we send another strong signal to the Iraqis that the United States has no hidden agenda that is detrimental to their long-term strategic interest. Above all, we bring to rest all conspiracy theories many Iraqis have held in their heart about the invasion in the first place. The biggest bonanza from this brilliant strategy is that it puts the right pressure on all the factions in Iraq to work together to resolve their differences. This will come about because neither one of the factions will be able to predict what will happen to their power structure and spheres of influence should the Iraqis vote for the Americans to leave. Right now, all of them are reluctant to negotiate sincerely with each other to resolve the conflict in Iraq. Currently, they are all taking advantage of Americans' presence in Iraq with their eye on the presidential elections that is ongoing in the United States. Many of these factions have signed a bilateral agreement or customary agreement with the U.S. military, but are reluctant to negotiate sincerely with each other. I believe that this will indeed strengthen the hand of General David Petraeus, the brave U.S. military commander in charge of U.S. forces in Iraq. It will enable him to be able to demonstrate to the Iraqi people that their future is in their hands, and that above all, the United States is eager to see a political transformation in Iraq that will usher in an era of peace and stability. We did not seek the counsel of the Iraqi people when we removed Saddam Hussein from power. However, it would be a good thing to let them know that this time they get to vote on whether we stay or go. We give them a hand in their own future. Every time an election is held in Iraq, it validates democracy. If they vote for us to go, we leave with dignity, honor, and democracy would have spoken. If they ask for us to stay, then we lay the guidelines before the world community and the conditions under which America will agree to stay. There must be clear transparency in our actions. It is important to note that America will still retain the option to leave regardless of the vote. This is better than a unilateral withdrawal because of the fatigue and weariness of the American people about the ongoing war in Iraq. Anything we do must be carried out from a position of strength. I am persuaded in my heart that this formula for success is unique and will be unmatched by any solution that has been introduced so far in the nation. More than anything else, it will prevent the presidential candidates in the November elections in the US from using the Iraqi crisis to further polarize our nation or question people's patriotism, or even worse, put us in a difficult position should a new president take office in January 2009 because of promises made to the electorate that were not able to fulfill. I would like to recall the words of Harry Lloyd Hopkins, who was an advisor to Franklin D. Roosevelt. He said, and I quote, "I thank God that I live in a country where dreams come true, where failure sometimes is the first step to success, and where success is only another form of failure if we forget what our priorities should be." Thank you for listening to the new initiative for Iraq. Visit my website www.peterforcongress.org. Please make a contribution, and if there are two numbers floating in your head, do not forget to use the big one. May God bless America. Goodbye.